To be a king and wear a crown is a thing more glorious to them that see it than it is pleasant to them that bear it. On the long list of named characters in Dragon's Dogma, few are as mysterious as Arsemus II, the Emerald King. He is also known by His Youthful Majesty, owing to his coronation at the tender age of 7 years. We never meet him and we never learn where he rules, save that it is a land far away. We only learn of King Arsemus II thanks to the billboard notices posted by his nameless Grand Chamberlain. The Grand Chamberlain's first objective sends us to the Witchwood, where for reasons unknown we are instructed to kill a number of goblin shamans. Our second task reveals more details about the Emerald King himself. He is deathly ill and his devoted Grand Chamberlain seeks the ingredients to make a restorative for him. We are tasked with killing a monster in the Tainted Mountain Temple. More anon about this task. The third task sends us in the Tainted Mountain Temple again and reveals something that should have been obvious upon reflection. The Grand Chamberlain is trapped on Bitterblack Island. The fourth and final quest takes on a much darker hue as the Grand Chamberlain has resigned himself to his fate and decided it is up to us to finish their work. We are not given any specific details. However, tragedy has struck as the Emerald King appears to be lost to his milady. A number of things about these quests are unusual. Not one seems to make any sort of logical sense, as the monsters we must face do not occur naturally on Grancis at any time. It is a mystery how they bring to our world beasts formerly restricted to Bitterblack Island. The first quest is certainly the easiest. Prove your dedication by slaying goblin shamans. Quests 2 and 3 are restricted to post-dragon and are rather more difficult. Somehow, these creatures, an Eliminator and Pyrosaurians, beasts manifested from nightmares, are made real and centered on a place of importance, and it is left to us to eliminate them. Lastly, the fourth quest chronologically takes place pre-dragon. This quest sends us to the Flame Servant's throne at the bottom of the Everfall. Setting aside the illogical timeline, these quests serve as a purpose the Grand Chamberlain is seeking. Let's look at what we know about the items gathered from the two later locations, and also what we know about the Emerald King. From the Tainted Mountain we find only one thing in particular that is interesting, the lava flower. The primary use for it is in combination with more common flowers like jasper blossoms. This creates verdigris concoction, which by itself is a poison. In the Everfall are a number of things that mix with verdigris concoction, but prime among them is isometricin. When the two combine, they make Soberin wine, an item that cures afflicted debilitations and also renders the drinker temporarily immune to them. And this is what it appears the Grand Chamberlain is searching for, the ingredients for a cure to what is ailing Arsemus II. It's worth noting that chaff stem and saffron oregano are both found in the Witchwood and can be used to create crimson concoction, a poison itself. Its connection to the quests is debatable, as we do not know if King Arsemus II was poisoned or simply fell ill. Now that the quests are done, let us look closer at the Emerald King and his Grand Chamberlain and see what there is to find out, as their combined story is necessary to piece together the bigger picture. King Arsemus II took the throne at the age of 7. Something like that would imply the death of the previous monarch, and likely both of his parents are dead by this time. We are told the people of his realm love him, and is implied the only ones who do not are the Senate, who have plotted to see him dead by disease since they never approved of him taking the throne. This further suggests it was inherited from a parent. Overseeing the story is the Grand Chamberlain. This is a person who seems to have immeasurable bias towards the Emerald King, as they make it clear they became arisen solely to serve their king and their country. They come across on the surface as being very loyal indeed. King Arsemus II in all likelihood was not as popular as they are described. It is a common saying that you can't please everybody, and if the only people who opposed the king were the Senate, then Arsemus II was a borderline saint. If his life was filled with misfortune, then it's not possible it was all by chance. Much would have been beyond his control, but just as much would have been caused by his own actions. The Grand Chamberlain, meanwhile, is far more devoted than someone would expect them to be. In fact, their devotion could almost be called unreasonable under normal circumstances. But we are missing some very important details about them too. Things like age, gender, and the like. The most likely reason we have these quests at all is that the Grand Chamberlain is in fact in love with the king Arsemus II. They state it was for king and country they even became arisen. But alas, the tale does not have a happy ending for our Emerald King and Grand Chamberlain. On the first night they left to search for ingredients for their restorative, the Grand Chamberlain found themselves on Bitterblack Isle. Lost and haunted, they left all they could on the notice boards in the desperate bid for help, hoping beyond hope that someone else, someone able to leave, would see their requests and be able to assist them in time. And on taking their requests, the effect manifested the nightmare creations of the island on the mainland, dreams made reality by the sheer strength of will of an arisen hoping against hope to save their beloved. But as the last message makes clear, it is simply too late. In all probability, centuries or even millennia have passed. The Grand Chamberlain is likely long dead, and the Emerald King with them. The Senate won. His Youthful Majesty was overcome by his disease, and all we could do was lay the memories to rest, to ease the still living will of the Grand Chamberlain clinging to the old notice board requests and grant them peace in their afterlife. Long live the King.